in the console. I'm gonna come to the door. I think I got money in there. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Hello, YouTube. This is Tell the Truth Tuesday with the Madam and the Queen. And we are here to just dish a little bit. That's what we call it back in the day, dish. Y'all call it tea, but
Yes.
we was just kind of chit-chatting like we do. And I thought, well, I agreed with the lovely madam. We need to have these little chats live. We did kind of promise, sort of, that we would do a weekly thing, but life happens. So we're here
Mhm.
now. We're here now. That's what matters.
Yes. I don't know. We didn't get too much into a conversation because it was getting ready to get real deep. So we were like, nah, we better go live with this because this is just too good not to be shared with the world.
Yes. And it helps kind of, helps you process some of the things that you experience in this electronic insane asylum we call YouTube. And it kind of gives you a heads up on what to expect because it's usually the same shit warmed over, you
Yeah.
know, ad nauseum.
Well, girl, I just been chuckling and giggling to myself for the past 2 hours now, I suppose. So,
Yeah, so
um,
you were telling me like what went down. It was like a little one-sided lovers quarrel there.
well, I was in Tommy's chat. I just clicked onto his show because he was talking about Tyra, and I was listening to Tyra's show and that whole soap opera that's been going on. So I clicked on Tommy, and I just typed a paragraph about being stalked and the cyber laws, if there are any, just something along those lines, not disrespectful. And that's the only thing I typed. And it had to be about 10 or 15 minutes went by. Next thing I know, Tommy Sotomayor is ethering Madam Whipass.
Wow.
So, and prior to that, after I had made my comments, like a minute later, I see Vic about Madam Whipass in here. And then like another 10, 12 minutes went by before Tommy started his ether. So that just let me know that Tiff messaged Cliff. Vic messaged Tommy and told Tommy, Madam Whipass is in the chat room, ether her. Something along those lines, because that's how the ether started.
Uh-huh.
But Tommy really didn't say nothing much. He called me by my name. Now, prior to talking about me, he was talking about another YouTuber, Lady La, but he made it a point to keep stating, I ain't gonna call her name, I ain't gonna call her name. But he made sure he called Madam Whip Ass, and then he called me Madam Lick Ass or something, or Madam Dumbass or something like that afterwards. But he really didn't say nothing too harsh.
Mhm.
But it just let me know that it was some real, I'm the main bitch, bottom bitch. That's what I call him now, bottom bitch Vic. I'm Tommy's bottom bitch, and you need to know this, Madam Whip Ass. And see, I got my man to ether you. Now, back in the day, before Tommy and Vic made up and they in this little relationship now, when Vic was Tommy's main stalker, Vic was always calling me Tommy's boo thing. Yeah, and why don't you go back over there to your boyfriend, Tommy Sotomayor? And he was my boyfriend, my man. I was Tommy's boo. And so I'm like, well, now you want me to know that you are now Tommy's boo thing. And he just, that shit was just funny to me. Bottom bitch Vic.
That's
And
catchy. That's pretty catchy.
how many times have you seen this growing up in your teenage years in high school and a little bit during your 20s? So once you hit your 30s and 40s and 50s, you don't. Well, I haven't seen any situations like this, but it just made me feel like I was in high school again, dating some guy, and we broke up, and now he got a new girl, bottom bitch Vic, and she want to let me know her place in Tommy's life.
Hey.
So therefore, I was forced to make a video and let the bottom bitch know that Vic, you just a bottom bitch. I'm Tommy's woman, you know. And when I get ready, good and ready to give Tommy the goods, he's gonna take it, he's gonna love it, and you're not gonna mean nothing to him. So you know, I just had to put the bottom bitch in her place, you know.
There you go.
So
Well,
this
there
is
you
just,
have it.
you know, you gotta laugh and make fun of this shit. It's just like, are you niggas? Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah. It's very eye opening, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
we as women, you know, because I'm just not all about the big eyes and little U's. I feel like in certain circumstances, if I have experienced something, you know, then I know there's other women out there who have similar stories to share. You know, I'm not exclusive
Mhm.
to particular situations. So, you know, I like to say we because I know I'm not exempt.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes it does make you feel like, am I the only motherfucker that's going through this shit? Because it's got to be, this has got to be a special occasion.
Mhm.
But
You
when
know,
you,
I hear you clear, but you do sound like you underwater a little bit. It's not really bad.
okay, yeah, my mic is a little off. My computer's been acting stupid lately.
Oh, okay. You still, you know, you can make out what you're saying,
Okay, good,
but you
good.
just sound like you blowing bubbles.
I might be a little too close to because I was kind of doing a lot of research. So, you know, how you bring things a little closer,
Mhm.
not strain your eyes. Let me see if I put it in my headset. That'll help it. But you know, I brought up a similar scenario many years ago. You know, our exit from a particular venue, and you know, he pretty much did this very same thing. He had a public meltdown,
Wow.
and it was very telling. You know, as to his emotional state and his you know, his personal view of himself.
Bottom bitch Vic, right? You talking about?
Yeah,
So
Vic.
he's displayed this behavior before, and I remember.
Yeah. And for some reason, you know, a lot of our people are very slow to catch on as we've seen this as the years have progressed. We see, you know, you can inform the masses of something, you know, you know, for example, Umar Johnson, you know, an unrelated topic. You know, many years ago, we put it out there that this might not be one that's on the up and up, so you better be careful how you spend your money. And here we are.
Mhm.
Okay? So, I mean, we tried to give a red flag and say, hey, you know, this is not for the thin skinned. You know, we're up here. We're trying to, you know, feel the blows for the rest of the women to feel comfortable to come out and really share their thoughts and ideas and experiences so that it will bridge the gap of communication between the black man and the black woman. And of course, that mission got misguided all the way off into a sausage fest, you know, and we gave them what the fuck they wanted. They wanted all niggas up there, so they got it. They got all them niggas up there. Okay. And you know, the men run the show. And as you see, you know, here we are. Fast forward to today. Nothing's changed.
Mm-mm.
Nothing's changed. You know, so it is what it is. And those who fall victim to this and act brand new to it, like, oh my goodness, I didn't see it coming. You know, let's circle 5 years ago, okay, and look at all the hate that we got just as black women. just because we were Black women. It had nothing to do with what we brought, our subject matter, none of that. People were focused on and tuned into the fact that these is 5 or 6 Black bitches up here who think they're coming to take over. Although we were provided that platform, we were invited to be there, you see,
Mhm.
and we were still vilified. So
Mhm.
it's like, we already got, a punch in the neck because we just Black women, and people don't want to accept and own that fact. These are males who do not like Black women, and then those that have managed to hold on to a mate. I don't know how they do it, but I just don't see what any woman would see in someone like that. It must be somebody who also has esteem issues and struggles with their own self-worth.
Mhm.
Not about a person who they date and marry. you know so while y'all coming at the motherfucking wolf pack, hating on us, we was trying to help y'all dumbasses. Now you see, if it's not us, it's another woman who has a strong presence, who tells a lot of truth and doesn't bow or buckle. They don't like that. The proof is in
And,
the pudding.
and I don't know why it's an issue with them. But you know what? I keep saying this. These type of piece of shit niggas, I only see out here in these YouTube streets. In the real world, I have yet to meet anybody like the majority of these men out here on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. Now, since I have been in the South,
Mhm.
and really started digging in and becoming a Southerner, I have bumped into a couple, but um, you have to kind of consider what you're going through at that point in your life, and
Mhm.
just the type of people that you have to encounter when you starting over, or you relocate. You run into all kind of people.
Right.
So
But
but no,
I
not
mean, all
not
this black
permanent.
woman hating is just out here in these YouTube streets.
Yeah, it's
Now
just
you would think it should be more prevalent in the real world, if you will,
mhm,
but it's not. It's not. I'm meeting very fine gentlemen.
mhm.
Now, unless they putting on a mask and they trying to deceive me, that's something else. But I really don't think so. These are just misfits.
Yeah, you would pick up on it because you study human behavior all day, every day.
Mhm.
You do, you know. So you know if your chain is being yanked. You know that already.
Mhm. Mhm.
We
And
we
it's really
old
not in the
old
world, in the
wolf.
real world.
We got a little silverback on our wolf fur. We know what's up. You know.
Mhm. Mhm. But these men out here, but then in this sector, we are dealing with a lot of mental illness and personality disordered individuals.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I'm not a well, this is your platform, but I'm ready to name names if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. My name is already shit anyway after I did that white woman thing, so I don't. So, I don't got one fuck to give.
Hmm.
I don't care.
But the mental illness, you have Jamila, you have True Freeman, you have Vic Damone, um, personality disordered.
Mhm.
You have Beasley,
Oh, oh.
Tommy Sotomayor, and mental illness and personality disorders, two different things,
Mhm.
you know. But those are the top five. Now I'm sure I'm missing other people, but those are the ones who stick out.
Mhm.
And then you got the only child syndrome individual, and of course he'd be the only one, because he's always been the only one, Monty Woodgrave. But so that's six,
Mhm.
and they're very interesting to observe if you're in this field and you're into human behavior, and and very predictable they are.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, very much so. And it's almost it's on. I can understand some people who don't have the gift of discernment,
Mhm.
or it might not be as prevalent. I get it where, you give that warning and they're like, whatever, they're into the drama, they're into the entertainment factor or whatever. Okay, fine. I get it. I like a
Mhm.
good chuckle too. But when it's at
Mhm.
someone else's expense and it's vicious, you know, or it's damning in any way, I can't get down with that, you know. Um, And like I said, you can come at me all day and all night. I don't care. It's not what you say, it's what you can prove.
Mhm.
But when you inject
Mhm.
children, I don't care if they're adult children or minors, you know, leave family out of it,
Mhm.
because there are those among us who cannot defend themselves, and when it starts to affect the lives of others that you're sparring with, you stepping into federal time.
Mhm.
And a lot of people get it twisted because of the anonymity, you know, social media brings. You can be whoever you want. You can put in any name you want, create however many accounts you want, and have 900 different persona. But at the end of the day,
Mhm.
you still have to lock those doors and tuck in those kids and wash the dishes or whatever. And nobody wants their private, personal space invaded like that.
Mhm.
And I take it very seriously because I know how it feels to be stalked in person. It
Mhm.
has nothing to do, it was way before the internet was public, you know. This was when I had an infant child. So it's to me, it's just not a joke. It's not something that you would even think to use as a joke,
Mhm.
or as a means to get revenge or garner attention or whatever. It's just not a laughing matter.
No, and the mentally ill will make statements such as, I hope your daughter, your little girl, gets raped by 10 men. And get into graphic details about the rape of a child. That's what the mentally ill does. But then you'll have the personality disordered individual come in and co sign the mentally ill individual's behavior by saying, well, the little girl didn't hear it, no child was harmed. And it's like, are y'all freaking kidding me? But then again, what should we expect from someone who is mentally ill enough to make such a statement? And then the mentally ill person, you know, they may have another personality living within them. So that other personality is warring with the words and the vile sexual statements coming out of the mouth.
Mhm.
And that personality wants to say, I know it's wrong, but I'm doing it for a reason. What you don't understand, because they're mentally ill, of course, is that for a real bona fide man, and when I say man, you have to understand being a man has nothing to do with your physicality or really your gender. No, not well. I should say it has nothing to do with your. Just because you got a dick in the balls, don't mean you're a man. Being a man is a state of mind. And no real man, there will never be any circumstance, any situation that would make them feel justified in making vile sexual statements towards any child. And there's no reason under no circumstances would any real man co-sign another man doing so.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's the bottom line. And that's the damn truth. That's
Yeah.
why it's Tell the Truth Tuesday
Yeah. And
with
that's
Madam and Queen.
very telling too, because you see the responses that we get when we do these little powwows and we have our little chats, you know, and we all need a safe place to fall, you know, to vent, because it's healthy to process, to have these discussions, because there are unsuspecting people out there, you know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
since we dropping names, you know, I remember Miss Cassandra, you know, young woman,
Mm-hmm.
very, very lost and confused. And, you know, she just kind of jumped in the lion's den over here in this mess we call Black YouTube or whatever. And, you know, she admittedly so. I didn't know. I thought everything on YouTube was considered the roast arena or what have you. You know, and I'm like, you cannot be that naive just to have men pay attention to you. There has got to be more self-worth in there somewhere. It's got to be. You know, it's that
Mm-hmm.
little voice inside you that just says, this ain't quite right. You know, I'm gonna forego the attention, the talking about my breasts. I'm gonna forego all that. It's really not worth it. I'm gonna save a little bit of dignity for myself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I notice it's backwards on social media, whatever venue you go to, Facebook, it doesn't matter. You know, the women who are dignified, you know, they're slut shamed and looked at as the castaways, you know, and the
Mm-hmm.
ones that will go to the lowest of low on behalf of these males, because they're not men, you know. And I heard you mention something too about a couple of females. We'll get back to that. We're going to put that sticky note on the side about that. But, you know, the dignity and self-worth is just out the window. There's no standard. And it's like we've said it a million times, you know, you got to set some type of standard, some type of boundary. If you expect to be treated a certain way, you have to earn that respect. And that's what teaching
Mm-hmm.
people how to treat you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I have such a bad rap, because I have such a horrible mouth when I need to, you know. And that's my first line of defense, you know. And they think, okay, well, this is just some, you know, Chicago bred roughneck bitch. You know, look at how she talks. She got to be ignorant. I can't tell you how many times I was prejudged based on that. And then they saw a whole nother dimension of, you know, the women that came strong when we had that little show.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, goddamn, I didn't know she had. Okay, see, that's what happens when you judge a book by its cover.
Mm-hmm.
I can go in any chat under this screen name, and people go, "Oh, there's Queen. We better be careful." Ooh. How do you think it got to that point? You see,
Mm-hmm.
because I
And
tell
see,
people this is where
and
you gonna stop.
and you know, you and I, along with the other females of the wolf pack, I y- y- being a male in this sector, you just really can't be so highly. I mean, we can take jokes and all of that, and we can roast back and forth, but to step out of bounds deliberately and just be highly disrespectful in terms of going into your personal business and bringing it out to the YouTube streets,
Mm-hmm.
calling you all types of names, making, you know, just doing just just the highest level of disrespect. Once you cross that line, you know, there's no, well, I need to get in your good graces, male, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm trying to say is that roasting is one thing. You know, you want to call me ugly, whatever, that's nothing. But when you start really trying to ruin me and hurt me, and you're calling CPS on me and
Mhm.
things like that. Where is your self-respect
Yeah. Yes,
when
ma'am.
you just want to fall back into the good graces of the same individual that's doing this most ratchet shit to you?
It's mind-boggling for anybody with a practical, logical sense of being. It is. It's really mind. And at this point, because we got a callous to it, we understand it. But I don't even try to figure it out anymore because if it don't make sense, it's not true. And you can't make sense out of nonsense. What I don't understand is the redundancy. I don't understand why, because it's September 6th, it's a new day, that the same thing you did yesterday somehow is new today. That's what I'm still struggling with. I'm still struggling on that.
Yeah. And it's been more than a year. You still regurgitating the same stuff as if your audience, who's the same people that were there a year ago, haven't heard it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a quote from Michael Jackson. He said, "Lies, they run sprints, but the truth runs marathons." And so I don't understand, your sprinter lies that these people have, i.e., I murdered my father and took all the money, and none of my siblings got their inheritance. And my brother has been in contact with a troll that he has never met and has told him all of this personal family information. So I'm living in a house and got all this money because I smothered my father and had him sign everything over to me before I murdered my father. And
What?
so, yeah, and that and my father's been deceased for 16 years already, 17 years actually, in 6 days be 17 years. And it's like, why are you telling this little sprinter lie? Because it's going to hit a wall really quick. My
Mhm.
father's been dead for 17 years. You mean to tell me all my siblings know that I murdered my father, but they're telling you, a person they don't even know, who called them on the phone, that I murdered my father and took all this money that belongs to them, but they haven't called the cops? And now that you, Mr. Beasley Troll, know that I murdered my father and got the all everybody's inheritance, why haven't you called the cops?
Yeah. The statute of limitations is there's no statute of limitations on murder.
No. So I've been waiting for Cobb County Police to come kick down my door and lead me out of my beautiful baby mansion in handcuffs, because I know if I was my siblings and I knew my sibling murdered my father and took all the money and all the furniture in this house came from my father, don't you know? And I know if I was in their shoes, no, my sibling would have been in jail 17 years ago. So why are my siblings allowing me to live high on the hog, all on their inheritance, going on 17 years, and they don't tell no police, nobody but Beasley?
Exactly. And see, this is where it's important to have critical thinking skills.
Mm-hmm.
When you take in this information, I never really believe at face value what anyone tells me, especially if somebody is shitting on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first red flag for me. And for those listening, that might be, still a little bit shocked behind what you see, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's good to think for yourself. It's
Yeah.
really good to step back, think for yourself, and say, now, okay, Step number one, point number two, let's go through this and see if it really makes sense.
Yes.
Before you jump. Now I want to go back to that little sticky note I put up there.
Oh, okay.
Ladies, I try not to go in on y'all too hard no more because I've been told I hurt some people's feelings. And I try not to do that because I'm getting a little long in the tooth. I got 2 grandchildren, but I don't try to be nice. Y'all niggas make it difficult for me to put my G card down. But, ladies, come on now. You cannot be that desperate for approval from a man to just blindly attack another woman based on what he tells you. Critical thinking. Okay. If you don't examine the situation and look into it deeper than what was said, something is wrong with you, not the person that you're coming for. Because I've had 2 of them little trollops come for me too. Out of the blue. Because, we had nigger lip over there. And I kind of gave him the same little whooping that I gave Kevin Smith in the Facebook group. What am I trying to say? JT Riley group. And, he finally blocked me. Hallelujah. But he did turn it around and try to play the victim. And he told a couple of little girls over there, couldn't be no more than 25, 26 maybe, And one of them came in my chat one time and I was quick enough to get a screenshot because I was multitasking. I said, let me just capture that, So later, this female and nigger lip fell out and she finally woke up and saw, what he was doing. So at that point, me, I like to rub shit in. So I mentioned it, I was like, but, you came from me. You don't even know me. All you know is what you've heard of me. And you probably caught a couple of minutes of my content or what have you. And it maybe was over your head, which is why you didn't hang out. Who knows? Who gives a fuck, really? But don't come for other women if you don't know what's really going on.
Right.
It's best to be mature. Use your critical thought. And think about it. Now, would it make me look crazy if I attack Madame based on what person X has to say?
Mm-hmm.
Would it make me any more in the right if I just listen to one side of the situation and don't do my own research? You have to have some type of self-discipline. We see a lot of these men acting crazy. Somebody has to have a level head. Somebody has to have enough maturity to say, wait a minute now. Now this is going too far. And before I step out on the limb and stick my neck out for some dude that I probably never really will share the same space with, is it really that much? Or is it that important for me to get this approval temporarily from this cretin? Or do I want to save my dignity and listen and watch and observe first before I make a move? And then you're not even fighting your battle, you're fighting somebody else's battle.
Exactly. Keep talking.
So it's just, that's another thing. Sometimes with age, you get that, you grow that particular mechanism. When you're younger, I did a lot of stupid shit, knee jerk, emotional reacting, had a chip on my shoulder, all of that, But it comes a time where, after you've put yourself in this muck over and over again, aren't you tired of wiping shit off your shoes? And then when you run up on somebody like me who ain't wrapped too tight, and you say the wrong thing and you get served, Cassandra, sometimes you want to learn the lesson by not having to go through what others go through. You want to learn from other people's mistakes. You know, that's the best way to learn from it. Now, experience is a very good teacher, but I've learned a lot watching other people do certain things that get them in hot water. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, now I know how to just skirt right around that. We won't go in that path. We're not going to take that stoplight. No, sir. It's just something you have to think. And I wonder where some of these women's minds go. Like, are they just obsessed with attention? Any attention will do. Are you lonesome? Are you depressed? Like, what I want to know, I want to dig inside the minds of some of these women who just pop off for no reason. And it's like, where the hell did she come from? Who is that?
Yeah, you don't even know anything about them or anything. And it's like, really? And when somebody just initially comes and attacks you for no reason other than what they heard of you through somebody else, that just lets you know they're trying to get that person's attention and just be in their favor. And I'm like, how old are you? Middle school girls do things like that. You are how old? 30 something years old? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. 40, 50. I mean, I've had older women, older than me, attack me because of what they heard, or just, my presence alone for whatever reason, gets under their skin. My delivery, the fact that I swear a lot. I use a lot of profanity when I'm just doing me. I'm on YouTube. Like, I'm not in corporate America in the office. Before clients, I'm on YouTube. And I know how far to take it so it doesn't affect my professional life. And I've had people come on my comment section or in my live stream talking to me like they've known me for 15 years, what I need to do and this and that, and I should and shouldn't be doing this. It's like, honey, we don't, but excuse me, have we met? Calling me by my government name. I'm like, if I haven't shook your hand, we're not friends, so you shouldn't even be using my first name in anything. Okay. So we need to think a little deeper beyond the sensationalism of that what do you call scandalous. Everybody likes a good scandal. Everybody likes to be have that shock value. You say the most disgusting, demented things to get that pat on the back. Just like the stripper on the pole. The bigger the denomination of money, the better she twerks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We gotta have a place that is priceless, that's sacred. You can't be bought. You can't be bought by attention. You can't be bought by recognition, or have this legendary reputation of being the most visceral, disgusting, toxic person, because it's timeless. Like, this isn't going anywhere. You can delete your channel. You can destroy your computer. You can get old and forget how to use YouTube, whatever it is. Your children and grandchildren are still going to see it. It's all fun and games in the moment. I'm bored. I don't have nothing to do. I'm sitting at home smoking weed and Newports all day, roasting people. I mean, come on now.
Day in and day out. Sometimes 24 hours straight.
Just on and on and on. Enough has got to be enough. There's got to be. It's like, after a while, I'm a homebody. I'm an introvert, but it's only so much indoors I can take.
Yeah. And all of your friends are online. You see your friends every day, and you are with them for at least 18 hours every day. And that's it. There's got to be more to life than that.
Yeah. Sassy said something, And it's so true. She just typed, I think sometimes we have this latent hostility inside that this social media allows us to exercise anonymously. I try to keep everything in perspective. YouTube is not that serious. That's very, very
profound.
Profound. It is. The anonymity, I got stood up for prom in high school, and that young lady looked like Madam Whoop-Ass. Okay? And she sounds like her, and I'm going to tell Madam Whip-Ass everything that I didn't get a chance to tell that young lady who stood me up for the prom. And I'm going to hurt Madam Whip-Ass's feelings because in some way, shape, or form, I know my date is going to hear me and see it too. You see how crazy that is? And that's another reason why I am the way I am. I like to parrot things back, to show people objectively how they sound and look to people who are watching. Because once you see yourself objectively and your emotions and things like that are not flared up, it's like, I really do look like a dumbass, don't I? I sound pretty retarded. That's why I wonder, like, do any of these people watch the playback of themselves? Just once. Do you watch?
And they probably do. And they still don't see anything wrong with it. Why? Because they're mentally ill. I'm sure True Freeman watched the playback of him interacting with his son and still doesn't see anything wrong with it.
I don't think he does.
And there are people in his chat room that honestly, sincerely don't see a damn thing wrong with what he did.
That's the daunting part, when they don't see, and a lot of it is purposeful. It's just obstinance, because just like, when they were latched on to Jeannie, Vic and Dusty, I mean, they was just relentless, and she handled them like short work, and it just was because she resisted. Just because she resisted, and that's why they came for me, Lovey, you. I mean, we can go on and on with the women, and it's really admiration. It's misguided admiration.
Yeah.
It really is. They want our approval. Like, that little Beasley, poor baby. He wants your approval so bad. He really, look, they put you on a pedestal so they can snatch you off. That's what they do. Anytime you have 7, 8, 9 channels and you have to subscribe to one person and you have to use all those channels to harass that person, that's far from contempt. Okay, you are addicted. Okay. And a lot of it is reverse psychology too, when they want to drag your personal stuff out there and they purposely put rumors that are not true, just so you'll get upset and you'll respond and go, my father this, and this is what really happened with that. And, they really want to try to get you to reveal more so they can continue to try to use it against you. And that's like elementary playground. Reverse psychology. Your mama, well, my mom's a good mom. Come on now. We are adults. We are grown adults with children. Some of us have grown children and little babies. You got toddlers. You got people up here with infants who are not tending to their parental duties. They're so busy trying to prove a point online. They're strangers. These are complete strangers, y'all. Just because you listen to them every day doesn't mean you have a relationship. Look at Qween.
Wow, now that's a blast from the past.
You would swear me and this nigga was dating if you didn't know no better. I had to think about it. I said, wait a minute.
Yeah, right.
I did date a little bit when I was in college. I got out the house a little bit. you know. But dating is just that. I'm like, no, I ain't dating nobody that damn crazy, nigga. No. He made me second guess myself. I'm like, does this motherfucker know me? Because back I was raised old school. Grandma said you got to be careful who you are seen in public with. Because you don't know what type of reputation they have or their people has. Very old fashioned. And it works.
Even in today's technologically driven society with social media, the same basic fundamental rules still apply.
Yeah. I'm not going to just be chatting in anybody's chat room. You know, I'm not just going to go on anybody's live stream and discuss. You know, I was invited to talk on one-on-one with Ashy Knees over there. I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? And then when I was over with Slapper a couple of times, you know, he brought his ass over there and openly admitted it. I'm trying to get this chick to talk to me for a long time. So do you think it's productive or counterproductive to attack me first and then invite me on your show?
Right.
And then you want me to discuss an issue that didn't have shit to do with you. Does that sound familiar? Call me now. You know, tell me to call my show, bitch. You know, I need to know what the fuck happened between you and Styles. It's none of your fucking business.
Wow.
You know, he did the same, Styles did the same shit. You know, I'm toying with him because I didn't disclose my past dating history. But if we're just friends, what the fuck do you need to know who I dated before I started talking to you? And then for the little female peanut gallery that they had over there, why are other grown women worried about where my vagina goes? Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
That fucks me up every time I hear it. I'm like, why do you give a fuck? Why do you care? Are you gonna get pregnant if I have sex with him? Is that what you scared? I don't get it.
Is that possible?
I mean, it makes no sense to me at all. It's like, why even waste time trying to respond, you know, and air this shit out, because it's just nonsense. It's nonsense. You know, I still have people from 7 years ago coming to me about when I did that fundraiser for, I did several, really, but of course, they're only going to remember the one I did for myself. And that turned into something snowballed out of control. But we're looking at the epitome of an online beggar who admittedly said, I took your money. There's not going to be a film. Now he's backpedaling. Now it is going to be a film. Because people are starting to wake up in mass and they're going, first Brother Polite, then Umar Johnson, and all these people being exposed. Wait a minute. There were some black bitches back then that said this was going to happen. You know? Look on to something. You know, now you want to come back, you know, to Mother Nature and glean more wisdom. Sorry. The well is dry. I'm done. You know, you
pay dry it up.
Yeah, you paid for my time now. I gave it away for free for years. Now you want to come back. You know what? Let me tell you what happened with so-and-so. Well, you know what? I don't want to hear it. Busy. Bye. You know? Because we were there on the front line for these people. Really trying to do something real and make something useful of these platforms. And you have the ones who have built the platforms to have an ulterior motive behind what you're doing. You want to stop black men from bashing black women, but then you're behind the scenes being a predator yourself. Can't worship two masters. And eventually
You
somebody's going to
know,
catch on and
I
call
was
you out.
I was in somebody's hangout. I ain't gonna say who, but not common knowledge in this sector. But it was, I've known the YouTuber hmm, for at least 8 years, interacting or whatever.
Mhm.
But they were having this hangout, and I was there, and it was all good. And I, I don't always read the chats, but I started reading the chat, and it was like a black man bashing fest. And I was like, oh no, I was kind of disappointed because my thing is, it sat so uncomfortable with me because I know far more good black men than I do bad ones.
Me too.
And it's
Me
stupid
too.
to be like, leave these billy goats alone, leave these black men alone, black men, this, black men. And I'm like, so it's really a big, huge gender war out here in these YouTube streets.
Hmm.
This
Yeah.
is
And
crazy.
they're threatened. It's a lot of, they feel threatened. They feel insecure. They already have, like we said, they have pre-existing conditions already.
Hmm.
And then to have many of the black women stereotypes disproved, by the presence of the group of women who have been, standing firm against this bullshit for so long. We've been around for a minute, you know, and it's
Hmm.
like, damn, we can't get rid of these bitches. No, because we have just as much space on this platform to freely express as any male does.
Hmm.
And, for every action, there's a reaction. For every choice you make, there's a consequence, you know.
Hmm.
And there's just, I'm not your wife. I'm not your girl. I'm not your, flavor of the day. You know, I don't have to take that shit from you.
Hmm.
And if I see upstanding women being abused and it's unwarranted just by them expressing themselves, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen on my watch. Whether somebody reciprocates that for me or not is really not relevant. But I just feel like as a black woman, you know, I should say something.
Hmm.
Somebody has to
And
be that person.
it's painful to recognize and really come to the accurate conclusion that a number has really been done on a lot of black men in these sectors.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, a black man or no man for that matter is really ain't going they really not going to talk about what a piece of shit their mother was if their mother really wasn't a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just really unfortunate and sad. But and because they had a piece of shit mother, now they have created this demon, and this demon is now running loose out here in these YouTube streets. It's crazy, and there's really nothing anybody can do to stop it. It's going to take a higher power to get some of these misguided and damaged individuals to see the light.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, on the flip side of that, we're dealing with personality disordered individuals and others with bona fide mental illnesses.
Yeah.
I don't know
Something.
what solution there is for it.
Well, some of them they're beyond help. Because we both know you have to want it in order for you to evolve and change. A person has to want it. And I believe to a degree, some of them do. Some of them do want it because they'll come to this stream or your stream or whoever, women with consistency, women with a backbone, those Black women who they truly are reaching to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
Let's name another sicko, Mike Mills. I'm sure he
Oh
just
yeah.
had an orgasm with me saying his name. But that's a sick puppy too. Very sick. And when I see someone, it doesn't have to be necessarily a man, but to me, I think it's exceptionally uglier when it's a Black man doing it to a Black woman. Just
Mm-hmm.
like certain things Black women don't look, just the way that it depicts you, like a woman drunk in public, to me, that's so embarrassing. Very
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
A woman who has her children or her child in the midst of a verbal spar with the child's father. That breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's just certain shit you shouldn't do. Period. Has nothing to do with what other people think. It has everything to do with the lasting effects it's going to have to those people who are innocent that are connected to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
And
look at.
sometimes I'm very keen and insightful immediately, and then sometimes I'm slow as molasses. Now, getting back to Mike Mills, and I'll whisper this, but you know, at first I thought that was just a online persona of his. I didn't really think he was really fucked up and demented like that. I just thought he'd just be online trolling, BSing, and just acting stupid because it's just something fun to do. But no, that's really him.
That's really who he is. Yeah.
And it's not only frightening, it's sad.
Yeah. And
And stupid me.
the constant pining for approval of that sickness, what he did to Jamila and how he had her just hysterical,
Yeah.
and go from back and forth with, Cat Smith and, just on and on, these people who keep getting sucked into this cycle of dysfunctional crazy, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and to a degree, it's really like sadomasochistic type of behavior.
Yep. Without the whips and the leather and the chains.
Yeah, it's like they like the pain and the abuse and
Yeah.
but then at the same time, it's like, I don't like it, but I like it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And with him, he just like Tommy, they take pleasure in watching Black women in pain. They like to see
Yeah.
the demise of Black women. And I don't know how much more evidence you need. And I still marvel at the people, the real people, I should say, who are constantly going into these live streams like blind, like sheep. I mean, it's like crazy to me. It's crazy. And just like, yay! I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. That thing with Kenitra Jenkins
Oh, yeah.
and what Tommy did, like, I don't think nobody understands except for my siblings how mortifying that was for someone like us to watch Tommy do that
Mm-hmm.
because we are children of funeral directors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how many times did we get up in the middle of the night with my mother and went and got a body out of a freezer. I can't tell you how many times did we get up in the middle of the night and had to go with my mother and remove a body out of a house. So to sit there and watch him make fun of this dead woman with her dead, lifeless body lying in a freezer like that was like, are you freaking serious?
Yeah.
Nothing good can come to you behind doing something like that. I don't care if Kanitra, whatever her name was, Kanika, was the worst ratchet black woman to ever step on this earth. She was 19. Really, still a baby, if you ask me. 19. And why don't you understand that the graves are full of innocent children? Why don't you think that, one day your own daughter can't be found someplace dead like that? Why don't you think how you would feel if somebody found Alex dead like that and had her picture in that state online and sitting up there laughing and singing and making jokes?
Yeah. That's deplorable. I
Would that
have
be cool?
respect. Of course not. But malignant narcissism, we have to remember that.
Yes.
These are covert sociopaths. They want to depict a certain image. I am just bringing forth my opinion. I'm expressing, I'm using this platform. I'm a vlogger, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to change people's lives or whatever you want to call it. But that's what most occultists do. That's what most cult leaders do. They develop a mission statement. This is my purpose. And however misguided it is, you just keep repeating that same thing until people start catching on, and then you tell a lie enough times, enough people believe it. There you go. You
Yes,
got
and
hope.
that's
You
their
got power.
purpose. A cult presents themselves as something, but once you get into the cult, it's nothing like their mission statement.
Mm-hmm. The old bait and switch. And there's no justification to defile someone's remains.
Yeah, I talked about her breasts and just singing and making horrible jokes, and that was oh my God.
And there are people still giving him money,
Mm-mm.
you know. But you or
Oh, they was
I,
giving him money during that very show.
yeah. But you
Wow.
you were doing a fundraiser for the children so they could have good school supplies.
Hmm. Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Not a
You
penny.
know,
Not one red cent. Mm-mm.
I'm like, well, if you want me to do these streams and you want me to come back regularly, you want me to spend my time, you can grease my pocket up a little bit too, you know.
Hmm.
But that's considered begging because it's a black woman doing it.
Hmm.
Now, it's not begging if this particular black woman is sitting up scantily clad, talking about her personal, intimate sex life, describing how good she is at fellatio. I'm sure that PayPal is overflowing then. Yeah. But y'all see where I'm going with it. It's like the standards and, the boundaries and the rules have totally flipped to the opposite side of the spectrum.
Hmm.
Anything that is dysfunctional is looked at as totally perfectly acceptable.
And it's rewarded
Yeah.
handsomely. Handsomely, it's rewarded.
Unbelievable.
It is. It is. But hey, I don't know. It was terrible what happened to Miss Jenkins,
Yeah.
and to murder her again by doing such a live stream. I mean, no respect for her family, friends, former teachers,
Mhm.
good people. I'm sure she had good people in her life, whether they were teachers, whoever. Her
Mhm.
boss, maybe she had a job. I'm sure she had coworkers and bosses that liked her. You might not have liked her. Apparently, you didn't even know her. But the bottom line is that child had people who loved her. Whether you thought they were extremely ghetto and no good niggas that need to be shot to death or not, she still had people who loved her. And for you to desecrate somebody's body and memory and life like that, it's just beyond despicable.
Yeah, and
And you know
for
what?
none of us to it's for none of us to determine the character of another
Mhm.
person, whether they're still among us or not. It's not
Mhm.
for me to say, oh, what so and so deserved. That's what they get. That she deserved to
Mhm.
die. She probably was this and probably was. It's like, who the
Mhm.
fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
You know, I'm telling you, I probably would have been in DeKalb County Prison if he talked on the side of the road the way he was hollering at that woman for absolute. Oh no, we would have been in the middle of traffic hooking. You hear me? I don't understand. I don't get. I mean, I get it, but it's just it's misguided anger and resent. It's like
Hey,
you don't have to punish every single black
the
female.
black woman for the
That's
black bitches in your life
exactly
that you
you made
chose,
those
and
poor
some you
choices.
had no choice.
You talk about other people's poor choices and how black people don't make
Mhm.
the best choices. You got a different bitch you laid up with every night, allegedly. We'll just put that there, allegedly.
Mhm.
And he admits it when he's having these little side discussions with people who are racing across the globe to try to meet him, you know. And it's like, well, you know what? I was going to hook up with this person, but somebody recognized me on the street, so I'm going to forego my booty call and talk to this gentleman here. All you have to do is sift through his videos and listen to it, and I don't understand how these people miss that disgusting shit. I don't get it. It's like, did you just,
Mhm.
what, do your ears turn off when he decides to start really confessing and revealing who he really is?
Mhm.
You just don't want to accept it. That's really what it is. We love to tell those little white lies to ourselves, kind of ease the blow of reality. It's called delusional. There's nothing you can do or tell me to convince me that this particular person has good intentions.
No, not if you can sit there and roast a dead woman's picture like that. A dead young girl, a baby, really.
Yeah, she was just
Compared to us, she's just a baby. And you have daughters. That's what gets me. Why do you think something like this is above happening to your own daughters?
yeah. That's why I say so many times, like when men approach me kind of crazy, because some of them do approach and they talk outside of their neck a little bit. You get that. You're gonna run into that. But I'm like, if I get really into a deep discussion with some of these guys, I'm like, would you want your daughter to respond to this shit that you're talking? I mean, you just said some of the most foul shit to me, and you're
Mm-hmm.
shocked at my response to you. How would you feel if your daughter came home and told you, you know what, some dirty old fart came up to me today?
Mm-hmm.
And because, I mean, I'll use a real example of my own.
Mm-hmm.
The first week I got here to Fayetteville, North Carolina, I walked into a store and I had on like, it's like a yoga suit. It's like a onesie, but it hugs your body. And I threw a little jacket over it. And I go in the store to grab some stuff, and this older guy, you know, he opened the door, thank you, and he's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going about my day." Like, what are you talking about? He was like, "You know, I got all kind of food at the house that'll ruin that little pretty figure."
Ugh,
I'm
really?
like, "What?" I stopped and turned. No, normally I would just kept walking, you know, like whatever.
Mhm.
But I just thought that was so goddamn disgusting.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "What did you say?" He was like, "Oh, well, I didn't see nothing by it." You know, they always want to justify, backpedal. I
Mhm.
said, "You absolutely meant that shit." I said, "What do you
Mhm.
think?" I said, "Does this work for you these days? Is this how you get a day?" And then I'm half your age. Like you're old enough to be my father. I said, "What if your daughter came to you at the end of the day and told you that somebody's great grandpa said that same shit to her? How would you feel?" You know, and he stumbled around a little bit. I said, "You wouldn't like it. You can say all day long, well, she's grown, she can handle herself. I taught her well and all that shit. Deep down inside, you know you would not like it.
Mhm.
And if you were present, you would probably punch him in the neck." So if you wouldn't want someone speaking to your daughter that way, what do you think makes you privy to have that luxury to talk to me like that? And
Mhm.
after a few moments of me talking to him, people were gathering around going, "Well, damn," you know. And it wasn't to make a scene. I was disgusted. That really pissed me off. And because there's so many women who enable that type of behavior and they laugh or they'll smile or they'll entertain them with friendly conversation, it's like there are people out here that don't want to fuck be bothered with that shit. And it's my right to reject it just like it's anybody else's right to welcome it. So why is it such a horrible thing when I reject dysfunctional behavior from a black man? Why am I labeled a dyke? You need to get some dick. You too wound up. You need to relax, calm down. You know what I'm saying? I was just joking. Some shit ain't funny.
Mhm.
And just because you think it's funny or cute or charming doesn't mean I am automatically supposed to absorb that shit and like it too. I'm not an extension of a black man. I am an individual, and just because you don't see somebody present, a man present with me 24 hours a day, you don't see me plastering it all over social media, that I'm getting laid regularly, that does not decrease my value as a person.
Right.
So I don't have to take that shit, and however vile my response is, you asked for it. And I wonder where that standard went among women. We used to kind of stick together, you know. If
Not
I'm walking
anymore.
down the street and I see a guy, harassing you or giving you a hard time, we can pair up. Hey, girl, let's link arms to go around the corner, grab an ice cream cone, get rid of this creep. I know you don't know me from a can of paint, but let me get the attention off you. Come on, let's go over here, grab a cup of coffee real quick. We used to do that for each other. Now you have black women going, girl, you must not have no dick about 4 years. Girl, he was just playing with you. You can't take a joke. Fuck you. No, I can't. Not that kind of joke. That's not funny.
Your response. It's true though.
What's wrong with a simple good morning? Yeah. Well, are we
No,
working out
fuck you.
today?
Not that kind of joke.
Yeah. That ain't no fucking joke. My father didn't talk to my mother that way.
Mhm.
My uncles didn't talk to their wives that way. My brothers don't talk to their wives that way. And bless his heart, my ex-husband didn't talk to me like that when we were married. So why should I'm not accustomed to that kind of treatment. And where are the rest of the ladies to hold that torch and say, you know what? You know, maybe if we stop entertaining some of the stuff that these guys do, and we stop laughing at it, we stop commenting on it, we stop coming to these live streams, we stop interacting with the people that are in this little spat. You know, you want to run over here. Oh, girl, what happened? Tell me how you got into it with it. You know, we need to stop condoning this shit. And then you will see a change. Just like if you stop having sex with losers, guess what? You won't have so many children that are born as a surprise. You know, you won't have so many surprise births and say, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, well, you know, when you entertain a fool, foolish shit happens to you.
You're right. Entertain a fool. Foolish shit happens to you. Hello.
I don't know. But, you know, I'm not sure what it's going to take either. But I know some are just beyond, you know, the scope of help and really truly acceptance of what the issue is. They just don't want to evolve beyond that. You know, they're comfortable where they are in their dysfunction. And my grandfather used to say, you just got to leave that crazy where it is. You know, you got to leave them there. You know, throw a little daisy. You know, throw them some confetti. You know, keep moving. Give them a cup.
Yeah.
You know, give them a lollipop or something, and let them sit right there in their dysfunction. Leave them there.
Yep. Let them be great where they're at.
Exactly. You know, I can't, you know, no matter how, I mean, we all get lonesome. We all want a little company. We want a little chat partner. We want a little somebody companion. That's normal. That's human nature. You need human interaction, affection. You need all that in your life. You know, but when it's dysfunctional, when you're trying to force me and violate my consent, you know, it's like being raped online. I call it e-rape. You know,
E-rape.
like just e-molesting me. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, for a minute, I really, like, I was concerned. But I thought Kevin was going to kill himself. I really did. When you hound somebody online for 4 years solid, something is wrong with you.
Yeah.
Something wrong with you. You know, and when you have other people on the outside going, you know, y'all need to just fuck and get it over with. Really?
Yeah, because when you come in, when you're watching from the outside, you don't really, well, for me, I really didn't, I just thought y'all was just going back and forth just to be going back and forth. I didn't know he was doing such deep, crazy shit.
All of those pictures that are floating around about him now, those are pictures he sent to me.
You know? I don't recall seeing those pictures.
He sent those to me first.
Wow.
You know, and like most hard-headed niggas, he didn't think fat meat was greasy. And I said, if you expose yourself, I'm gonna make an example out of you, and you're not gonna ever forget. I'm gonna be a household name in your life for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you have nightmares every time you think about me. He didn't believe it. And then when I did it, what did he do? He wanted to cry victim.
Yeah, that is a common trait among these personality disordered niggas and the mentally ill ones too. They are doing the most initially for the longest period of time. And like I said in my other video, the minute you just get tired of it and you react, you respond, now they twist it around and act like you victimize them. They are the victim now. That always amazes me how they twist shit and do shit like that.
It's just so sickening. when they do that. Well, look at what Dirty did. You know, we tap dance on his ass for a while, and he'll run over to Facebook and talk shit, and he'll jump on there and sit and try to roast us for a couple of hours. Then he'll run back, throw another rock, and then hide. You know. And I'm still waiting on the answer. If I'm so hideous and ugly and unappealing and all of this, why do you have 900 channels subscribed to me?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have to block each and every one of them?
They never forget to not subscribe to you.
That's why I say they come through and they have got to get a response. And I just always do a quick little litmus test. If I see, Mike Mills is good for it too. He likes to come in your chat and say all kind of vile shit, to see if you'll stop your conversation and just acknowledge him. And when I do not do it, oh my goodness, you can feel the heat coming. He just acts so upset. She didn't say anything to me.
And he finds a vine and swings out of your chat room onto his platform to talk about you.
Yeah. That old ugly bitch over there, Afro Queen, this, that, the other thing. My looks mean more to them than they do to me because I'm 46. I'm halfway to 50. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I was 19, 21, 23. In those years, I made a lot of money with my looks. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't mean anything to me. Okay? And if we really want to be ignorant, white folks paid me for my look. So, that's a contradiction to the blonde-haired, blue-eyed standard of beauty, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Here comes this little red girl with a big old afro and a toddler in tow that can strut a runway just as good as my icon, Iman. That's how I learned how to walk the catwalk. Watching her. And she's far from blonde hair, blue eyed too.
Mm-hmm.
And she made way more money than me. So, me being ugly is not, really a concern these days. So, I don't get how they try to justify this dysfunction and still remain blissful in their ignorance. And then when I do respond and I start to assess him and dissect what he's saying, he'll log off that one and come in a new name and say something else like I don't recognize,
Aren't they comical though? Isn't that comical?
I'm like, okay, so I'm supposed to think this is a new person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she just getting too smart for me when she started that intellectual shit. So, let me try to change the subject by changing the screen name.
Unbelievable. And then they
Well, my
ask,
darling,
why
I don't mean to cut you off, but as always, it's always been a pleasure. But I have to get to bed early because I have to get up super early. I got a busy day tomorrow.
Absolutely. Same here. I got a big agenda and an even bigger one later this month. So I'm trying to stay disciplined myself.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are some busy women. We don't have time to be doing live streams for 24 hours.
Yeah, and just
Really.
pick on people, just picking on people. That's unfortunate. And, just a word of advice on the way out the door for the listeners, and Vic Tech. And
Bottom bitch Vic.
Bottom bitch Vic Tech, okay? Hunty, you might be able to catch such a phenomenal woman as Madame if you step your game up. Now, I told LaDirt that, okay? She's a magnetized. She dropped like bees to Hunty. But, you can't expect a queen to come down off her throne and live in a goddamn swamp. All right? So, if you up your game, get an education, a career, and a little bit of gumption, inspiration. You might be able to befriend somebody like Madame Whoopin. I'm just that, from a woman's point of view, I'm just saying, because real women like men of substance,
Yes.
not those who are full of bullshit. Now, let me let you go get some rest.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And we can try and do this again maybe tomorrow or Thursday.
That would be awesome. I would love that because I want to kind of catch up and, get back in the swing of the little streamy thing because it helps. I know it helps me.
Mm-hmm. And we really need to be doing this weekly. And I would love to make a commitment, but I just, the type of job I have with this position I got in the schools, it's crazy. Sometimes in the evenings, I'm getting home late because I'm doing parent workshops, and so it's just not really a consistent schedule I have. Things change all the time. My hours are never really the same.
And then, you gotta make the donuts. That's priority. So
Hmm.
yeah, it might smooth
Yes, yes,
out
yes.
toward the springtime. We might be able to get a little bit, a rhythm going later on down.
Because we haven't chatted in more than a month.
Yeah, I've been going through a little something serious. So
Hmm.
I've been laying
And
low,
so,
trying not to, I don't like to dump. So I just kind of keep to myself until I get, myself together.
well, sometimes you gotta dump that stuff out
True.
so you can be fresh and keep on running.
Yeah,
You
that's true.
slow down if you got a whole bunch of stuff weighing you down. You got to dump it out like a dump truck.
True that. True that. I have my little sounding board, and you know me, I'll go out and do a little rain dance out there in the yard and scream and cuss the trees out.
Yeah, yeah. Tell the trees your secrets and they stay with the trees, right?
Yeah, where it's safe. Hmm.
Amen. All right, my darling, gotta go. Thank you, Sassy, and you other few people who are listening. Appreciate
Yeah,
you, and
yeah,
we'll do this again.
yeah. Y'all have a wonderful night. Be safe out there, and we'll come back to you. We'll get it together and we'll promo it for you.
Yes, we will.
All right.
Bye
Good
bye.
night. Bye, everybody. Be good to yourself.
Bye, y'all.